Hey everyone, on today's episode, we're going to talk about a B2B sales and marketing process every small business should steal. Not because it's easy, because it actually works. Hey everyone, I'm Chris Inman with I.D.E.A Cleveland, the marketing guy.
And I'm Vic Ing, Viking Sales Consultants, the sales guy.
All right, Vic. All right, so number one, we're going to talk about putting a face on your business. So people not buy things because of a logo. They buy things because they know, like, and trust somebody. So the concept is you have to have somebody that is the face of your business. It has to be somebody that actually comes out, makes the videos. It could be doing webinars. It could be doing live events, whatever the case might be. There has to be a real person that does these things, not just a logo and, hey, here's a generic quote on all your social media content.
Yeah, because people buy from people, right? I think, in sales, it's a lot of build relationships is what we're told. And it's not wrong, but it's far more than that. But here's a question for you, Chris. Does that face, and we agree, I think already, there needs to be a human face. Oh, now I said human. Now it begs into AI. We won't go there. But does it have to be the founder? Does it have to be the owner? Does it have to be the CEO, Chris?
No, it has. If you think about, there's some large brands out there, Progressive, they have Flow, you have State Farm, they have Jake from State Farm. There's people that actually have these faces out there that aren't technically in the company. Now, those are actors, the people that are watching this. You're not hiring an actor. But what you do, though, have is probably somebody in the marketing department that's very comfortable with being on camera. Maybe somebody in the sales department that wants to raise their hand and say, hey, I'll do this because, it's really going to build my personal brand and make sales a little bit easier. It does not have to be an owner, but it has to be somebody that's recognized as the person within your corporation that actually puts out the information and educates and connects with people through webinars, YouTube videos, whatever the case might be.
What happens when the face changes? Does that matter? If Flo is suddenly a different person completely?
I think it doesn't matter if that person, let's use somebody that was in your sales team. Now, if you fire this person because of some reason, obviously we got a problem. You don't want to use it. But you can go back and recreate that same content. But if you didn't fire them or they didn't leave because of an argument of some sort, you can maintain that and just slowly drip in your new person. Let's move on to our what you need to think about number 2. Attention isn't a lead. I think this is a big thing. People think that, oh man, I got 1,000 people that saw my LinkedIn post. Ooh, I got 20 likes on my Instagram video. At the end of the day, it's all irrelevant if you didn't pull them in and put them in your CRM. If you're not having real conversations with them.
So here's a sales manager moment. And if you are an owner watching this, or you are the sales manager and you found yourself doing this, stop. I'll just say that. And here's what it sounds like. I'm sitting in my office and I say, I'm just going to put on some weird Mad Men persona. Where are we at with the Johnson account? Whatever. And the salesperson comes in and says, hey, boss, I got a great update. Mr. Johnson himself accepted my LinkedIn invitation. We're friends now on LinkedIn, right? And back to you, what you said, that means nothing. It means, I will say this as many times, it means nothing. And just the same, the inverse is true. Them not accepting your invitation means nothing. These are two very different things. Would you agree with that, Chris?
100%. And I think what happens is people become obsessed about the vanity metrics of all that. And that distracts them from the reality of what marketing is really supposed to do, which is supposed to lead to a sales conversation. Marketing materials should create better consumers. You should educate your buyer. So that way, when you're having these conversations, they understand how you can make their lives better. They understand what you're doing. They have a better foundation there of what your company does and what they're going to do for them. Because that initial first sales conversation, you don't want to go over frequently asked questions over and over again.
Yep, that's it.
And if all that talking about the solution, and that's what you're talking about, the marketing materials, then when you have that first conversation, that initial sales meeting, this is when you, the sales team, you get to diagnose, you get to ask questions, you get to actually figure things out, and you're not educating. I think that's probably the worst first sales conversation you can have is a webinar on what we do.
Yeah, right.
Like whenever you think of marketing, they always have like a mega horn. There's always just shouting from the rooftop. Someone's up on a mountain with a mega horn screaming down at everybody. If sales is up on a mountaintop screaming down at everybody, no one's going to listen to you. That's the purpose of the marketing material. So the idea of the salesperson is to listen. Now, you've listened. You've got to the point where now they're ready to get a proposal. Oh, that means marketing gets to walk away, right? Is that the end of marketing once you send the proposal?
I think not. Enlighten me, Chris. I'm with you.
Yes. So I think this is where some people do think, though, marketing's done. They think that, hey, I sent them a proposal. We're done. They're going to say yes or no, and it's just, but there's no useful follow-up. There's no check-in. There's no, hey, I know we had a conversation about this, and we have some case studies that marketing has created. There's a video about this. There's some testimonial proof. Hey, I know you had this problem and you're with your current vendor. Hey, we have a blog that talks about how ours does it a little bit differently. Hey, send them that with a proposal. Send that the day after. You got to have a process. What is the follow-up process? And that's where you can pull those marketing materials back in.
That's it. And we always talk about, a circular loop or a feedback loop or whatever. And that's where you're going with this, obviously, is where does marketing get those success stories? I mean, sales should have that information. And marketing entering into the proposal stage is salesperson looking them in the eye and saying, and being able to confidently get them actually to say to you, you understand me, you get me. Yes, I do. We got it. And then the best of all is, now I'm going to sell to you, you announce, but don't take my word for it. Listen to somebody who's just like you. And you know how many times, if I had a nickel every time, or I can count on one hand the number of times that somebody has actually picked up the phone to call one of these other people. Now, I'm not saying make stories up, because you're doomed the one time they call somebody and they're like, oh, they said you suck, or that person doesn't exist. But I always am like, please talk to any of my clients. I will happily give you information, but they don't need to. But that is really, if I'm in tune with where you're at, that's when marketing comes back into it, because you've got that whole volume of case studies, and successful stories. And it really just sounds to the customer like, I'm just a sales guy. Don't take my word for it. People just like you have already benefited from this product or service.
So we talked about the process. I also like calling it the customer journey. So I think this is where we can now get into what did we just talk about and how we're going to pull this all together and what actually is happening. So if you think about your customer, step one, you need to grab their attention. And you need to be on a platform that they're at, be it LinkedIn, YouTube, in-person event, like when you meet somebody in person, whatever the case, but you need to grab their attention. Hey, I'm over here. You need to grab their attention so they start following you.
Yes, I agree. And then what's the next step? I mean, isn't it something along the lines of building that trust and credibility?
Correct. And now that you have their attention, now you got to build the trust that you are the expert at what you say you're the expert at.
Yep.
And the best way I think to do that is through educational, but it also through testimonial content. So that's what we're doing. We're building trust, and now we have content that's educating them, not just about our product, but what we do in general, like the industry that we represent.
Well, and that's where I'm going to caution, don't go too heavy on the how you do what you do. It's got to be about the pains, the solutions, because it's so easy to start going into, well, our brand of shingle tile, that goes on your roof is the best in the business. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Now that you have the educational, I think educational events are great. Vic does them, I do them. You pull people in, it's a webinar, it's an in-person, and that leads to where we're all trying to get to, the sales conversation. So what happens after the conversation, Vic?
Well, and now I guess this is relevant. What I was going to say is now we're at the proposal that we were talking about.
Yes.
The decision. You have to be in control. And there's some simple ways to do it that can be actionable items for people. One is, hey, I'm going to send you this proposal, Chris, but let's go ahead and get on the calendar 2 days from now at 4:00 to discuss it, especially before you pass it on to so-and-so. Let's make sure it says everything you need to say. Sending off the proposal, that's how you end up in the trash bin and you don't even know it. And now you're calling to check in. So anyway, we're talking about the decision. I don't need to continue that thought. But these have to be, and my favorite is, no, Chris, I'm not going to send you the proposal. Let's schedule time and we'll walk through it together. Then I will deliver it to you. All right, back to you.
I also love when I meet a salesperson that says, let's get on the books and let's just review it together.
And if they say
I'm
no,
always like, wow.
They're calling your bluff. They're not interested.
They're not interested at that time. And you don't need to worry about making a proposal. Right. You've saved yourself so much time. But if they're willing to sit down again with you and review it one-to-one, you have the opportunity to talk about what that word office.
Otherwise, they say, I just need your price. And then here's a great follow-up question. Are you getting multiple prices? I should have asked that before. Yeah, I just need another one on the stack of prices. I don't want to play that game.
I need to get 3, and we picked the middle one. Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry, I derailed this, but very important.
No, this is good. So that's the decision. Then there's the follow-up after.
Yeah.
They say yes, they say no. All right. If they say no, that's not the end of them ever talking to you again. That's when they go back into the marketing funnel. You try to get feedback from them, and then what do you as the sales team need to do? And this is what the marketing team needs to do. Marketing needs to listen to the sales department and be like, how was that journey for them? What questions did they show up in the first conversation that we wish we had already answered? When they came to the decision, what was something in their head that made them say no? Oh, did we screw up and at the beginning? And when we built the trust, did they think we did that? Oh, okay, there's a problem here. We have to look at all these things. So it's back to the marketing sales conversation where the two teams have to come together and figure out, all right, and if it's a success, awesome. Let's figure out how that was a success and let's figure out how to repeat that.
That's it. And in my sales funnel language that I talk about, you're finding the leaks in your funnel. You're patching holes and you're controlling what goes into the top of the funnel. That shouldn't have been in there at all, or get me more of that immediately because they drop like a lead weight when it's a perfect match. So good, and that's the feedback.
Let's say you're a solo entrepreneur out there and you're doing this all yourself. All right, let's just use that. You need to figure out that stuff on your own too. You still need to do this. What are we doing to get attention? How am I building the trust? How am I educating them? How am I getting into the conversation? What events or whatever am I leading to that? Hey, I'm having that decision. Set up that meeting one-to-one. We review, take notes. Oh, okay, they're not interested. All right, cool. Let's figure out why they weren't. If they are interested, awesome. Now that goes into the operations department. But if not, you need feedback. You need to then go back and take what you've learned and go back to the attention side and rework some of maybe that attention material and that trust material because something went wrong. Because why did somebody come into the funnel, but why did you not make the sale?
And I love something you said too, which implies kind of, me, I like to take it and turn it into a weird story. We've all walked a dog perhaps and have them stop at one spot every time on that walk because one time they found a treat on the ground and they're going to stop there the rest of their lives. But that's how we should be doing sales. And people forget this. That one meeting, that one event, that one thing I did, I found a tasty morsel of goodness. Go back to that spot. Your dog's not dumb. They're the smartest person in the household because they know there's a good chance that where they found something before, they're going to find it again. So there's our feedback loop back to marketing. And sales has to communicate that, right?
Absolutely. Okay, now when we end these, we always like to have one little tip. So my little tip is take the 10 most asked questions at a sales meeting and turn those into frequently asked questions and put them right on your website.
My advice is don't email off a proposal and then start wishing and hoping and praying that they're going to pay attention to it. Stay in control of your sales funnel. And there's a lot of ways to do it. And by the way, at the end of the day, the ones who are serious about buying are going to love that you guided them through the process even better.
Absolutely. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any question about sales, marketing, the relationship between the two, just make a comment on this YouTube video. We'd love to answer your question. We'd love to connect with you and help you out. Again, we're here to help. We're not always out to make a sale. So if you have a real question, we're happy to make that into a video, or maybe we'll just set up a Zoom call and we'll answer your question one-to-one. So thanks for watching and make sure you subscribe.